Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm your host, Stephen Henderson. The Lion King is back in Detroit for its 6th residency at the Detroit Opera House. The Disney musical has been touring North America for more than 23 years and has played to more than 25 million theater goers. The Tony Award-winning show is a coming-of-age story about a young lion in Africa named Simba. Take a look. The Lion King runs through April 5th at the Detroit Opera House. Joining me now are two of the cast members, Zama Magudulela and Thembelihle Cele. Welcome to American Black Journal. Now, I think I got the names close.
You did.
But welcome to the show, and welcome to Detroit.
Yay.
That is an incredible run that the Lion King has had, and the 6th time that it's here in Detroit. I want to have both of you talk about the characters you play and playing those characters. But I also want to talk about this story and I guess the meaning that it has for you guys to play these roles in a play that's set where it is, that draws on the culture that it does. That's got to be pretty special too. Zama, we'll start with you.
Yes, thank you for welcoming me here. And yes, I am playing the character called Rafiki. She is a baboon. I know there's a variety of questions related to the character, but she plays a shaman in the show, and she's the only character that really doesn't really interact with all those animals. However, she's like the glue, she keeps everybody together. So yeah, my specific joy in playing the character is the fact that I get to speak my language in the show.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter which country, I get a chance to speak my language and sing in my language. So basically, I feel like I'm really, really out there representing my country altogether.
Yeah.
Not just any country, Africa altogether.
Right.
So
and
yeah.
what language is that?
I speak Zulu.
Okay.
Yes.
And this character, does that character speak Zulu no matter who's playing the part, or is it just because you're able to do that?
No, I speak Zulu because it's my language.
Right.
However, in the script, there's like 3 languages being used from South Africa, which is Zulu, Xhosa, Sotho. Those are one of the 3 of our native languages from South Africa.
Yeah.
So, but me specifically, I speak Zulu.
Right.
I mix all 3, but mostly it's Zulu.
Yeah.
There's a part where in the show where I get to speak like tell a story in my language. It's called the click story. Mm-hmm. Yes, you would have to come and see it for you to hear it. Yeah. But basically, for me, representing my country through my language, through my music, it makes it feel very, very special.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about your character.
I play the role of Nala. She is the princess of the pride, and she is forced to grow up quickly, but she also becomes the catalyst for the change that, you know, that takes place when Simba comes back to, you know, take his rightful place as the king of the Pride Lands. And she has a lot to do with that because she goes out to find help. So how that translates to me is, you know, it's one of those things where you, especially as a woman, you know, young girls are being raised all over to believe, you know, certain things about themselves. And then you step into a role like this and you get to be strong and to show up bravely and courageously. And Nala is exactly that. You know, I came in thinking, you know, having all of these grand ideas about what I would infuse into the role. But Nala really gives me the permission to be all of those things, to get to also be in a show that values the authenticity of, you know, the culture that it represents. I also double as the show's dialect coach as well. So to know that they've invested the energy and the effort into bringing that to the stage as authentically and as truthfully as possible is something that I also take great pride in. It makes me so happy to be part of something so big and a legacy so rich. But also represent my culture and my country in such a big way, because like she said, these are our home languages that are spoken in, you know, a very small corner of, in the southernmost tip of the continent, but is being represented and has been seen by millions across the globe.
Yeah. You know, obviously I've seen The Lion King, I've seen the movie, and I've seen it here in Detroit at the Opera House in one of the other times that it's been here. I'm not sure that I knew, or that most people I know knew that it is a South African story, that it is set in that culture. Obviously, it's African. Everyone can tell that, but I didn't know that it was specifically South African, and that changes, I think, for me, the way I think about it. I wonder for you guys whether you think people identify enough with with it being South African.
Basically, I would say on that one, as much as they've taken the South African, of course, even if they could have used the whole African languages, but it was not possible. So at this point, using the South African, I feel, despite of different countries, we have common grounds. We relate culturally. We might speak different languages, but we are very much connected. There are even some words that we use, like example, the word Ubuntu. Ubuntu means humanity. That is kind of available in so many countries in Africa, you know. So we represent that. That's why I say, as much as it's South African, but it's also African.
Right.
You know, it's global in so many ways. But we like example, if I may make an example with the character that I'm playing, it's a shaman, which is, she's a leader, she's a healer, she's a witch doctor in a way. So at this point, majority of people in Africa, they have shamans. You know, in South Africa, there was mostly the female shamans. Now they are males, but majority, it was well known to be a female shamans, which is why the animation, there's a male version of Rafiki, but in the theater, it's a female, because we are representing that part of knowledge related to the shamans, you know. So because as this character is playing, it is taken, like language-wise, it's taken from South Africa. Either way, in majority of countries in Africa, we have shamans, you know. So for me, whomever that watches the show would always relate and connect and understand that, wait, as much as this is a language that I don't understand, but we have this, you know.
Yeah.
That's just, at least that's what I believe. One of the connections that have been used for the show.
I mean, I will say, just to add on to that, like, there are a lot of other influences in the show, and that's just credit to our incredible director who drew on influences from all over the world, really. There's, you know, parts of Southeast Asia that are represented, but if we're going to speak to like the continent aspect of it, the makeup is, you know, influenced by the Maasai tribe in Kenya and, you know, and the Dinka people of modern day Congo, even some of the patterns on the hand-beaded corsets and the puppets that you see on the stage. It's a lot of influences that ultimately connect and lend to the storytelling and to the story that is The Lion King. So a lot of it is accounted for and factored into the show in such a thoughtful way. Like if you look at even the costume pieces, no two people wear the same colors or the same shade. We have like different hues of, you know, earth tones and colors, but they're different patterns and they're all very specific to the roles that we play. Yeah.
You know, I think the appeal of the story is that it is universal. It has some real universal themes. It's about family. It's about community. It's about
Strength.
courage and strength, right? And whatever culture I think you're from, you can kind of find yourself.
That's why
in
anyone
that
who
story.
watches it, just kind of, it's been available for as long as we could remember, like 30 years and above, because it's everybody's story, you know, and the story that, like, you watch it, it's for all ages. That's another beautiful part of it, of the show. All ages, even if with the animation movie, you see old people crying. I cried when I watched it. So that's how I knew, wait a minute, this is deep. And then I watched it as a musical. I was like, wait, I'm still crying. So we all, if I am crying and I'm part of it, imagine the person who came and watched it. I mean, hello. You know, so it's very much global, you know, and it has connected the world. That's why it's still making it out there. You know, and also, of course, it's the way we tell the story, because really relating the animation and human beings being part of that puppetry, being part of that makeup and costumes, you know, that on its own is beautiful. You know, that on its own. You know, then we tell the story behind everything that we are wearing. Then it becomes even deeper, honey. Let me tell you.
I mean, the staging of this is, of course, you know, a huge part of what makes it special and so distinct, really, from the movie. I wonder, as actors, what that experience is like to be a part of something that is as kind of richly staged as this is.
So, because theater is a living, breathing thing, we get to, in real time, at all times, pour in very real aspects of our lives into the show and into the roles that we play. Because on any given day, you could be experiencing what the story is telling, because we've all been within close proximity to loss, or we've lost something or someone, or have felt lost ourselves in the world. So whether you're on a journey of self-discovery or figuring something out, or a very real life event, you're bringing that into the story that on that given day, and it can touch somebody in the audience differently. On some days you're joyful about something and you're bringing that joy, and that's the beauty of it. Like, we're a cast of 50 plus international people from very different walks of life, and so we all get to come into that space and bring in whatever life experience we're having. It's very much alive at every given moment. And not only is it multisensory in that, you know, our orchestra and our percussionists who are in the house with us are very much a part of the story. You know, we have the procession coming in and bringing the story to life. So the audience gets to participate in that as well. And we get to see that and also feed off of that and react to that. So at any given moment, the story, it is alive. As soon as that curtain comes up and you hear the call, you know, the story just comes to life, you know. It's just, that's the beautiful part about it for me is...
And every day, like every day, it's never the same.
I'll bet.
Because majority of artists, we emotionally connected to the show. That is why even if you're sad, you have to still give the story, because at the end of the day, there's somebody different from yesterday who's watching the show, you know? But more than anything, no one would do the show if they hate theater or if they hate art. Or, you know, you've got to be very much passionate, because whenever you're delivering the story, it has to make sense. anyone who's watching there paid their money. They have to believe what you're giving out, you know. But if you're there for money, honey, it shows.
The novelty
we've
wears
seen them
off really
living.
quickly.
Yes,
It does.
yes.
And when
So
you
have
hear
to
back
love
from
it.
families,
gotta
you
love
know,
it.
who say that was the last piece of anything that my mother saw before she transitioned.
gosh,
you know,
yes.
that really, it could be your 10,000th show, but
Yeah.
somebody was waiting
Right.
for a long
different.
time for the show to come into town to see that so that they could have that experience.
And that reaction from the audience, because it's so nice to know that you gave them what they were looking for, you know, because we hear that from everyone that comes to watch, like backstage or stage door, their comments, we feed off that because if imagine you come out and they are sad, they're like, so who are you? I was Rafiki. Oh, okay. So, that would crush you, you know. But if you know that the response from what they've been watching gave them that joy, that's what keeps you going, and you want to go back the following day. It's just and also
It's great to have you guys here in Detroit, and great to have the show back in Detroit. Thanks so much for joining us on American Black Journal.
Thank you
Thrilled
so
to be
much.
back in the Motor City.
Yay. I'm gonna love this city. That's all I know.
Yes, we want you to love this city.